of the heart takes you home. Star is still sleeping, even the hoot owl's asleep. The path of the heart is still calling, calling. Follow the dipper, the moonlight, the stars. The path of the heart takes you home. Paths of the heart lead home. My heart be strong, true to my soul. Wake up, almost home. Sun sinking down, just about gone. Spirit, lead me home. Winds of change leave me broken, blown from the path I have chosen. Leaves in the trees, they are calling, calling. Follow the dipper, the moonlight, the stars. The path of the heart takes you home. Golden moon is rising over the whispering trees. Last ridge over and I'll be done. Follow the dipper, the moonlight, the stars. The path of the heart takes you home. star is still sleeping. Even the hoot owl's asleep. The path of the heart is still calling, calling. Follow the dipper, the moonlight, the stars. The path of the heart takes you home. Paths of the heart lead home. My heart beats strong, true to my soul. Wake up, almost home. Sun sinking down, just about gone. Spirit, lead me home. Winds of change leave me broken.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us on this rainy February morning. We invite you to take your seats and prepare for this morning's service. On behalf of the worship committee, welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Columbia. I'm Linda Brennison, and our minister is the Reverend Stephen Robinson. We want you to stay connected with our community by keeping an eye on the following communications. Our recurring events are listed in the calendar, including in your order of service. But special events are also coming up. We provide an emailed newsletter every Thursday to keep you informed about these upcoming events. Make sure we have your email address on file and check the newsletter weekly for the latest updates and event details. Additionally, listen to any special announcements from our worship committee at the end of today's service. They often share important news that you will want to hear. We invite you to watch our services on YouTube or Zoom. No matter how you choose to be with us, you're always welcome. We warmly welcome families with children and families without children. And we offer child care during our service for infants and children up to 4 years old. If you want to volunteer to provide child care during our services, which we would really like, please speak with Bethany Storlotzy. I'm not seeing Bethany today, but we can put you together with Bethany if you're interested. We also have a designated seating area in the back of the sanctuary for children ages 4 to 7 and their parents or caregivers. Feel free to bring the toys available in the back of the social hall for quiet play. Today, children will remain in the service with their parents or caregivers. Please silence all devices as we center ourselves on today's service and listen to the prelude.
I invite our choir, Chalice Voices, forward to sing Be the Light, music by Leah Morris, inspired by Amanda Gorman's poem, The Hill We Climb.
There is always a light when we're ready to see it. There is always a light when we are ready to be it. To see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill. Together we will. There is always a light in the dark. When you're ready to see it. There is always a light in the dark. Ready to be it. To see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill. Together we will. There is always a light. There is always light. When you are ready to see it. There is always a light. There is always light. When we are ready to be it. To see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill. Together we will. There is always light. There is always light. When we are ready to see it. There is always a light. There is always light. When you are ready to be it. To see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill. Together we will. There is always light.
Beautiful. Thank you so much to our choir, Chalice Voices. If you're interested in being part of our choir, please see Anna Hamilton. Also, I'd like to take a moment to thank our flower team for these beautiful flowers today. Indeed, a harbinger of spring, I would say. If you will now please rise in body or spirit and join me in the congregational covenant in your order of service. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, seek knowledge and freedom, and serve others in community. Thus do we covenant with one another. Please be seated. Unitarian Universalism is a diverse and non-creedal religion. Our community is founded on deeds, not creeds. We are a covenantal religion, meaning we don't have to believe the same to treat each other the same with respect, equity, compassion, and dignity. We place love at the center of our values, embracing and welcoming all people. We're delighted to welcome all our guests and visitors today. And do I have a volunteer to pass the microphone? We got a little bit, Miss Annette, come forward, please. Thank you. Annette Flavel will be so happy to pass the microphone for me. Okay. If you visitors, please wait for the microphone before speaking, and we'd like you to stand and share your name and where you're from.
Hello, I'm Kurt Byling. I'm from Kent, Ohio, the UU Church of Kent, and this is my second time here. I was here last year.
I want to introduce my house guest for a week here from Minnesota.
Oh, I'm Cynthia Wold. Happy to be here in South Carolina. This is my first time not in the church, but at a service here. And I just met some wonderful, wonderful people here. Thank you for welcoming me.
Yeah. Happy to have you here today.
This is my Mimi.
Hi, Mimi.
And this is my Papa.
Hi, Papa.
They are visiting from Ohio as well, and they are lifelong Catholics, but we don't hold that against them.
No, we do not.
Hi, this is Nina Benedetto, and I'm Dan King. We're visiting from Houston just for the weekend, friends and family. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Winnie. I'm from Haiti, and thank you for welcoming me.
Welcome. Thanks to Annette Flavel for passing the mic this morning. Visitors, if you'd like to learn more about UUCC, visitor cards are in the pocket on the back of each chair. So please fill one out and place it in the collection plate so we can email you about our events. Our board members and committee chairs welcome your questions and concerns, and they wear green name tags to be identified better. Thank you all for being here. And now I'm going to surprise somebody, and it's going to be Nancy Shillington Perez. I'm going to ask her to please light the chalice for us. Thank you so much, Nancy. Spirit of light and life, come unto us.
Our opening hymn is number 34 in the gray hymnal, Though I May Speak with Bravest Fire. I invite you to rise in body or spirit to join in singing.
seated. So good to see Dan, Reverend Dan and Nina with us. You might remember Dan shared a sermon with us when we were on Zoom, virtual days in the 2020-2021 time period. And Dan, I still remember your sermon about bridges. I reference back to it all the time, so thank you. Glad, sorry we don't provide good weather for you here today, but glad you're visiting with us in Columbia. Our opening words come from Robin Kelly's book that I've been revisiting the past couple of weeks called Freedom Dreams. Produced a 2002 book that actually was reproduced in 2022 with some additional words that we'll share later on during the sermon. But Robin Kelly's book, Freedom Dreams, The Black Radical Imagination, he writes, "Without new visions, we don't know what to build, only what to knock down. We not only end up confused, rudderless, and cynical, but we forget that making a revolution is not a series of clever maneuvers and tactics, but a process that can and must transform us." Dr. King constantly warned us that we would not be able to build a truly liberatory movement without the strength to love. In his 1963 book of the same title, he wrote, "To guard ourselves from bitterness, we need the vision to see in this generation's ordeals the opportunity to transfigure both ourselves and American society. Our present suffering and our nonviolent struggle to be free may well offer to Western civilization the kind of spiritual dynamic so desperately needed for survival." This time I invite our children to join me down front on the carpet for our story for all ages. Good morning. It's a school bus race. Oh, we have a winner. All right. Well, this morning, you are going to help me write the story. And it's a story about love, and it's a story about Valentine's. So, the way that you can help me write the story is, do you see anything that makes you think of a Valentine? Yes. What do you see? A puppy dog. Yeah. Is that a puppy dog? Yes, it's a puppy dog. Yes. What do you see? Oh, yeah. How did that get there? Connie? Did you bring that, Connie? No. Kevin? Chuck? Bud? No? Oh, someone put it there. Well, it needs something. It's kind of bland, don't you think?
It needs to be all colored in.
I agree. Well, you know what? I just have some things that you can help me do that this morning. So we have little hearts that we can stick on there, and the adults are going to get to do this too, which is we've added, we have lots of rituals here. We have water communion, fire communion. So I don't know that anyone else does this, but I call this our heart communion. All right? So we have lots of different rituals. So what we can do is write on these pieces of paper some things that you can do to show love. So you want to suggest something? What's something you can do to show love? And I'll write it down. Build a tower. I was going to write it down with a pen that I left up there on my... Thank you, Nancy. All right. So build a tower. That sounds good. Somebody else got one?
I do. You could tell someone Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah. All right. Alyssa, could you help them stick them up there? Build a tower up there. Want to go put it up there? All right. So come up here and you tell me what you want to write, or you can write something yourself. Pick the color that you want. Wishing someone happy Valentine's Day. What else do you think? Sharing a puppy dog. Got any ideas? Got an idea of how you can show love? Putting all the hearts in one basket. I see that, yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. All right, you can go stick that up there. What are some other things that we can do? How about share our toys? Is that all right? We'll do a share our toys. Y'all have something back there? What do you think? Oh, help. They're helping, yeah. Be kind. Those are some good things. We got lots of colors. Let's see what other color. Ooh, we got pink.
Easton has another.
All right.
I think you should write be kind.
All right.
Love.
Love. Awesome. You want to stick it up there on the board? All right. You can stick that one up there, Alyssa. All right. Anything else you can think of? Be kind. Anybody want to stick one up there? You want to take it over there? Awesome. It's looking pretty good so far, right?
But I think that Easton was on the outside.
I think so too. You're right. We are UUs. We don't just color in the lines. That's right. So you know what? Thank you for getting us started. The adults are going to do some more of these for us later in the service. So thank you all for helping us get it started. And thank you for coming down.
If you'll give us one, I can take it back for the kids. And they can
Yeah. Thank you. So adults, I'm just going to pass these baskets around so you can grab one, and a little bit later in the service, we'll invite you to come and help us decorate. At this point in our service, we light candles of community for the joys and the concerns that we are holding in this space this morning. So if you have a candle that you would like to share, I invite you briefly to come, share your joy and concern, and place the candle here. Wait for the mic.
Okay, remember to say your name.
My name's Ellie, and yesterday was my birthday.
Yeah, and then you put it in there. I can help you. So coincidentally, my husband for once is not working, but he is at home trying to get the house ready for a bunch of second graders. So, yes.
Hi, this is my first candle with all of you. 25 years ago, I met someone at a Unitarian church, and we were later married by a Unitarian minister who coincidentally happens to be here today. And we had many years together and attended many Unitarian churches across this country. But he was lost to me 3 years ago yesterday in the pandemic. So this is for you, Ken.
I'm Brett Mercy, and I come bringing joy and a note of hope in a rather dismal time here on the planet, and gifts. And the joy is that I am remembering and supporting and teaching the people that came before us for generations that resisted the same thing that we're fearing today. And the hope is if we learn that history, we won't have to repeat it. And this is the first session of the 10th year of the Majeska Simpkins School starts March 1 in the building that we bought next door to Majeska's house. And the gift is books that we've printed about the school and about the people in this town that fought the same fight against the same enemies for the same thing for decades and generations. My first sojourn to the Unitarian Church was in 1968 when it was in a house out on Trinity Road, and it was war in Vietnam.
I think I'll lower this just a tad. I'm Linda Brennison, and as chair of the worship committee, I'm lighting a candle of concern for the way we respond to the joys and concerns shared in our community. Let us remember that during this time, it is important to maintain respect and dignity for those who are sharing vulnerable moments of concern. Let us hold these concerns in our hearts and prayers rather than responding with applause. Thank you for hearing my concern.
I'm Marlene Trader, but I'm actually reading this for Jenny Verne, who was thought about coming today, but she's still too tired. But she wanted to come in order to light a candle. So these are her words. We light this candle to honor the UUCC members who are volunteering at the mountain this week. We support their efforts to help maintain this sacred place. We wish them safe travels home.
Hi, I'm Chuck Ashley, and I have been snatched from the jaws of death twice recently, and back. I wanted you all to know that I could feel your love and your support like a band around me while I was unconscious several times. I was aware. Today would have also been my sister's 68th birthday. And this happens to be the day that I quit smoking 22 years ago.
Hi everyone, my name's Elisa, and you've probably seen me around a bunch. I just wanted to say that over the past couple of months, if you read the news or you just exist in this southern state, you'll see a lot of stuff that is not too positive. And what's going on right now is very scary for a lot of us. And I recently was at my spirituality group, and I got this piece of advice, and I thought I would share it with all of you. Sometimes just being a good person is enough, and it's enough to just inspire other people. I got this advice after sharing that when I'm around people, I feel like I'm not doing enough, and I feel like I wish I could help people see things clearly, but I feel like I'm not doing enough, and sometimes your presence is just enough. So I just want to say that even though sometimes we feel like it just seems like it's over and that there's nothing we can do, there's always something you can do, and you can always put a positive input into this world.
The last candle we light represents those silent joys and concerns. I invite you to take just a few deep breaths and remember all that you've heard and shared. Celebrate with those joys and hold the heaviness of those concerns. As we prepare for our offering this morning, reminder that our Share the Plate recipient for this month is the South Carolina Appleseed Legal Justice Center. You can contribute to them today through Share the Plate or through our website. I'm going to let Anna introduce our offertory, and then I'll bring our ushers up.
This month, as we celebrate Black History Month, we enjoy and honor some of the great contributions of African American composers and songwriters. And this morning's offertory is by Florence B. Price, who was the first African American composer, concert pianist, and organist to reach national recognition. She studied at the New England Conservatory of Music and later taught at the Cotton Plant Arkadelphia Academy and Shorter College in Little Rock, before becoming head of the music department at Clark University in Atlanta. She eventually became known nationally and internationally as a composer and a concert pianist, and had some of her works recognized as being the first African American to be performed by the Chicago Symphony National Orchestra. She wrote over 300 compositions, and this morning's piece, Silk Hat and Walking Cane, is from her collection for piano called Dances in the Cane Breaks.
Thank you, Anna. I invite our ushers to come and receive our morning offering. receive our offering today and we send it back for counting. I want to begin with a story, a parable that you probably all have heard before, but worth sharing again, and maybe new to some. It is the parable of the mouse that discovered a mousetrap in the farmhouse. And upon discovering the mousetrap in the farmhouse, I realized that this was quite a situation, and so needed some help from friends. So the mouse went to his dear friend, the chicken, and said, you know what, there's a mouse trap in the mouse and I need some help from you to figure out what I should do. To which the chicken responds, that really has nothing to do with me. No concern of mine. Good luck with that. So the mouse goes to another friend out in the yard, a pig, says the same thing, there's a mouse trap, what should I do? And the pig says, nothing to do with me, no concern of mine. Hope you have good luck with that situation in the house. So finally, he thinks, well, my huge friend, the cow, certainly they will help. Goes to the cow, and the cow says, nope, has no concern to me. I never go in the house. I'm not afraid of mouse traps. That's your situation, and I wish you the best with it. And so the mouse tries to navigate the situation all alone. And one night as there's a commotion in the house, and the farmer and his wife jump up and realize the mousetrap has gone off. And so maybe they have caught this pesky mouse, and instead they've caught a snake. And then trying to take care of that, the snake bites the farmer's wife. And she gets sick immediately from the bite and develops a fever. And so the doctor says the best thing you can do for a fever is some soup and hope that it passes. And the best soup, of course, is chicken soup. But the farmer's wife did not get better. She kept getting worse and worse. And so the farmer just wore out trying to care for her and started inviting people over from the community that could help, and they started staying the night so that he could get some sleep. But he felt so grateful for their presence that he wanted to fix breakfast for them. And so he said, what better breakfast to fix for them than ham and eggs and bacon? Kind of see where this is going, right? Even if you haven't heard the story before. The farmer's wife ended up dying. And after the funeral, they hosted a huge feast at the house. And in order to feed all of them, the cow met their doom as well. At any point along the way, if the cow or the chicken or the pig had said, you know what, it really isn't me that's dealing with the mousetrap, but because you're dealing with it and we're friends, maybe I can help you realize that the mousetrap is a sign that this is not a welcoming space for you. They don't want you here. And let me help you find a place that's safer and more welcoming, a place where you can find food, a place where you can be warm, a place where you can get comfort without dealing with the dangers of this mousetrap. But what this parable reminds me of is Martin Luther King Jr.'s powerful words that he wrote from the Birmingham jail, where he said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. This has been the theme for us of the 30 Days of Love. If you've been following the Side with Love campaign for this year, the 30 Days of Love have focused on thinking about what are the concerns of our group as a whole, our humanity as a whole. Week 1 focused on immigration and the We Are Home campaign, which delivered a very clear message on the undeniable humanity and worth of each person, calling out the dehumanizing policies, the criminalization of immigrants, and a message of invitation to be a country that truly welcomes and cares for everyone and celebrates everyone. Week 2, the focus was trans people are divine, a profound truth from the book, the Black Trans Prayer Book, which is a statement to say that all of those people, trans and non-binary people, have always been here. Acknowledging this calls us to honor them as vital, that all of the work in our culture to try to make them not exist is not going to work in the presence of this enduring power of transformation and creation. Week 3 focused on water is life, and we joined the Sioux Nation that was leading the movement to resist the construction of the pipeline across the Missouri River, recognizing that we have to honor all of our connections to the air, the land, and the water, and doing so transforms our community. It's not just the anthem of resistance against the devastation and violence, but it's also declaring water is life, and that we need each other to survive. We cannot exist without our environment around us. It's debatable whether or not our environment around us could probably exist without us, and probably has, most likely has, at some point in history. But we are dependent. Week 4 focused on a new terrain, the Side with Love, claiming that Black people are in the future, which you would have to think should not be a revolutionary statement. But in a situation where Black people are in the future is disrupting all the narratives of being disposed with sanctioned discrimination, inequity, injustice, and genocide, it offers instead this vision of boundless possibility, and thinking about what can we put into practice today to work toward racial justice in our future. I share that I've been revisiting Robin Kelley's book, Freedom Dreams, from 2002, which chronicles the work of many activists over the years in the pursuit of the dream that Dr. King described so eloquently. In this 20th anniversary edition I've been reading, Dr. Kelley looks back over the past 20 years since the book was written and included a new introduction to the book and reflected on how the movements of the past 20 years really expanded his own vision of freedom. And so he opened the door in his mind to mutual care, disability justice, abolition, decolonization, and a new epilogue exploring the visionary organization of today's freedom dreamers. He recognizes that this dream that we have, if we're going to see it fulfilled, must be rooted in love. It's a love that calls us to action. It causes us to care about injustice. It's based on the web of mutuality that Dr. King described. And this commitment to love is revolutionary. If you look at the statements that we already have up there, and you're going to have an opportunity to join some of the kids, there's the word help, and it's with a exclamation point, so maybe that's a sign that we really need help right now from our kids. Being kind, sharing, telling someone you care about them, and building a tower. These are things that we can do. What are you writing on your piece of paper? We talked a couple of weeks ago about James and the book by Percival Everett and using our pencil in the work for justice. What are you writing on your heart today, and what are you willing to commit to? So this is where I have to confess a little bit. I feel like I have done my due diligence here, really since November, to encourage you and say, keep the hope alive, do not disappear into despair, and keep fighting the fight. Have I done that? Have I gotten that message across? So have I earned the right to just take a couple of minutes and describe the kind of despair that I feel right now, and then not totally unwind all of that? For knowing that this dream that we have is rooted in love, it is calling us to action, and we have to believe that love will eventually win in the end, but I am resonating with a UU minister at First UU Church in Houston, Colin Boston, who said that she also is struggling with the concept of love. You know, every day I find myself wondering if love is going to be enough to transform our culture. I know I've encouraged us not to disappear in despair, continue to work, and all of that is absolutely true. And the complexity of this work and the need to be honest with you just tells me that I have to tell you, I'm not sure love is going to accomplish anything in our culture. As much as I see and commit to this work, I am struggling with wondering if it's going to make a difference. I see our culture unwinding things that have felt solid for decades, that so many people worked so hard to put into place, and they're unwound in seconds. And I'm not sure that's going to accomplish anything. And someone might say, well, it's your job, minister, to point people to faith. Well, faith is complex, isn't it? And there's nothing certain about faith. But I do know that Dr. King attended a Unitarian congregation in Boston for a little time while he was in graduate school. And a lot of his faith in nonviolence was inspired by the Unitarian Universalist minister Aidan Ballou. Ballou taught that pledging never more to resist injury with injury, we have to adhere to the law of love. And if we do that, we will overcome evil with good. I do know that Dr. King read a lot of the Transcendentalist work, Henry David Thoreau, another Unitarian Universalist, another Unitarian, whose writings on civil disobedience helped inspire his belief in the possibility of revolution. I also know that the moral arc of the universe that King described drew upon the influence of Theodore Parker, who preached, don't pretend to understand the moral universe. The arc is a long one. And so Reverend Boston points out for me, and she writes, so when I speak of struggling with love, I speak of struggling with my own faith and some of the most influential teachings from the Unitarian Universalist tradition. I am struggling with the belief that the democratic dimensions of the republic will be preserved, that white supremacy will not be allowed to reassert itself, and that the existential crisis of the hour will be addressed by the political class. So when I'm struggling and wondering, is love enough? Will it make a difference? I at least can point us to our roots that we can be proud of, that have influenced that arc for so long. And I know I'm not alone. I saw you when I said, I'm going to be honest and say, I'm not sure about this. You were like, finally. I don't have to pretend today to be in a good mood and to be celebratory in the midst of this. And so, especially when Alyssa came up and lit the candle, it was like you just said, all right, Stephen, you can do the other side. She's going to hold up the positive. I'm just going to disappear in despair a little bit further. Many of you have shared with me your sense of doom and that hopelessness that's creeping in, and you're asking the question too, as much as we say it every Sunday, as soon as the service leader says, please stand with me and recite our congregational covenant, as soon as we all find it, the thing that we should probably have memorized by now, as soon as we find it, we begin by saying, love is the doctrine of this congregation. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. And so your minister is standing and joining you and wondering with you, is that going to be enough? As the hopelessness creeps in, I wonder, will love be enough? Will it transform our culture? And this structure, it's interesting that one of the children said to build a tower, because this structure that we are building doesn't feel like a tower right now. It feels like a sandcastle that you and I are trying to construct every time we dig into the work, and we admire the work and we admire the creativity, and we also know in our heads that high tide is coming. I take comfort in knowing that Dr. King struggled with his faith as well in revolutionary love. We all sang his words, his last public words, thanking God that you have allowed me to go up to the mountain. I've looked over, I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we will get to the promised land. But that was his last speech. His last sermon was titled, America Too is Going to Hell. He struggled with faith, which for him as a Christian, he would have gone to Hebrews that tells him, faith is the evidence of things that we can't see. Faith and love are these concepts that we talk about, and these are unseen things that are transforming our world. But as a minister that leans more toward humanism, I'm putting my trust and hope in some things that I actually can see. We are not hoping that unseen things somehow become known and transform our world around us. We have to build on the structures of love that we already have built. And if the tide comes and knocks them down, we build them again. And if it comes and knocks them down, we build them again, because the goodness has already been there, the goodness is already seen, and we just have to trust in the normal ebb and flow of time and keep building these castles, these towers of love from this place. As a matter of fact, if you're thinking about that last speech from Dr. King before he was assassinated in Memphis, read it all the way from the beginning. A few weeks ago, I shared a picture with you all and with our kids, and was on our order of service, of Dr. King and Ralph David Abernathy. It's exactly how he started that speech that ends with the mountaintop. It is not some kind of recitation of beautiful philosophy. It just begins by saying, Ralph Abernathy is the best friend that I have ever had in the world. When you read that really closely, you see that it's not just about profound experience of the movement. He is just saying, what an honor it has been to work alongside this friend, to work together, arm in arm for justice. He is clear about his inspiration that he was drawing in his fight to hang on to faith was about turning and looking to those that he could see. So today, we need to put our trust and our hope not in the things that we can't see, but open our eyes and look around you. Because any given day, even a minister can disappear into despair. And we need each other. And this is my way of saying, at least this week, since I've made so many deposits in the bank of the UUCC, I want to make a withdrawal today and lean on you. And maybe you feel like that some days, that you are disappearing into despair, and you need to make a withdrawal at this place. We need each other. We have to land our hope in each other, and that's exactly where my hope lies. Walking into this place, and I don't think Michelle and Luna are listening because they walked in with me, so I don't want to say I walked in with despair. But walking into this place, I start to see faces. I start to hear stories. I start to see the energy of people that are excited about the work that we are doing, and that's exactly where the power of love lands for me. These acts of love and justice that you and I commit to work on, the power comes from this community working together in acts of love. So I invite you to write on your heart what you're going to do, because, 52 weeks out of the year, this heart sits in my office. So write on your hearts what you plan to do to show your acts of love, and let's inspire each other with the things that we can see.
I invite you to join in our closing hymn. It's in the teal hymnal, number 1014, Answering the Call of Love. A note on how we keep building those towers. The songwriter for this hymn, Jason Shelton, asked years ago that the lyrics to the chorus and the title of the song be changed from Standing on the Side of Love to Answering the Call of Love. He did this to use more inclusive language and because he thought the symbolism was much more powerful. So when we get to that chorus, we're standing on the side of love. Remember now the words are, we're answering the call of love. Hymn number 1014 in your teal hymnal.
Make sure before you leave today that you write down on your heart what you want to put on our Valentine up here so that we can lean on each other. Closing words come from Bell Hooks, one of my favorite people to quote. She says, "Love redeems. We are each born with a fundamental need for love, and when we find that love that we seek, whether it's in community, in friendship, in our family, or even in a romantic partner, we discover a reason to hope."
Please join me in singing our congregational benediction.
Our service leader is going to come share a couple of announcements before we leave. But thank you all for being here. Remember to put your heart up here on our Valentine so that we get it full. The kids can see your work alongside theirs up there. Stick around. And Brett, is Brett still here? Did he stick around? All right. I know he's got some information back there, Brett. We're glad for the... yeah, I'm talking about you. So he's got some information back there. Yeah. Yeah. All right, thank you, Brett. Brett will be sticking around back there with coffee. He's got information. All right, thank you, Brett. All right, Linda?
Thank you, Stephen. Are you wondering how you can answer the call to love? Well, I've got an announcement for you. The Social Action and the Green Committees will meet today following the service in the RE Wing. So if you've never answered this call of love, I encourage you to join them today for their meetings. Thank you.